Hey y'all, what's up? I hope everyone had a great day. Yeah, it's not too late to turn your day around. I'm gonna try to recap what I saw on Smackdown. I was in the middle of doing my son's hair, so I had to shape him up in the back, and I had to retwist his locks, which I should start posting videos up, just for me to show myself like how long or how much better I'm getting every time. Like I'm a hair girl. I went to cosmetology school. I could look at something on YouTube and pick it up like that. But like the locks thing, my son has been getting it for 2 years. He's had locks. So the first 6 months, I had my sister's best friend. She's a loctician. Do his hair, and for the past year and a half, I've been doing it. So it's been an interesting journey. SmackDown was. I came in when Chad came in the ring, so I was confused. Okay, I'm on Twitter. Y'all know I tweet and do this at the same time, so I had to go back on somebody's, like one of the people I follow, and they follow me page to get the clips at the beginning before I made this video, because I was like, I'm not understanding nothing that goes on, and I logged in at 8:00. Like I turned on the thing at 8:08. Normally, like I could skip the first 4 minutes. Now it's just like jam packed. The first 4 minutes is basically like a recap of what happened last week, Survivor Series, all that other stuff. So like, and I seen it live, so I don't need to watch that. But it's good for the people that either never watched SmackDown, haven't watched in a long time, or didn't get to see it. So I'm not mad at it. I'm just like, it gives me extra time. But during that time, I was still finishing up washing his hair and finding my clippers. So, the beginning of SmackDown, I want to say, if y'all hear something in the background, that's my son under the dryer. I bought a hooded dryer. Was crazy. So I looked at the clip. I see that the Bloodline was attacking random people in the backstage. First of all, they going through everybody, do security, all this stuff. Let's solo them. So Apollo was like, hey, yo, like, you don't see me standing here? I think it was Jacob who came behind him and, like, super kicked him. Can we get a match with that next week? Second of all, you know what I noticed? That we call him Jacob Fatu, the Samoan werewolf. Why we just don't call him werewolf? Like, we know he's Samoan. But you know what I'm saying? Like, we know Solo and Jimmy and Jay's name. A lot of people know their names, but we call them by their stage name when they're in the ring. So, why don't we just call them, except for Naomi. I would say I call her Trinity only because I binge watched Total Divas 2 years ago, and I watched all her matches on TNA, and she went by her real name. So like, me calling her Naomi, it's been almost a year, but like whatever comes to mind first is what comes to mind. And then Bailey, sometimes it'll slip up and I'll call her Pam. But other than that, like, I call people by their name. So what is that? That's a strap right there. Ew. So it was pretty solid. I was like, they real big mad they lost this, ain't they? So then they went out to go show American Made, and I was confused as hell. Okay, I ain't even gonna hold y'all. I was a bit confused because I was like, why is Chad and them coming to SmackDown? But I always said after Survivor Series is like the let go of the year. Like, we really do this draft, I think after WrestleMania or before Backlash. We really do the draft between that time, before WrestleMania, between the time before WrestleMania and the time for Backlash. We do this draft, and the draft only lasts 6 months, because after Survivor Series comes and the storylines and stuff get mixed in, because Royal Rumble with the girls and then EC Chamber and then WrestleMania, WWE just be like, the hell with it. People be cross-branding, and sometimes it don't make sense. Just like today, I was like, why is American Made there? And then when they was like, they going to basically do an interim draft because of Netflix, I said, okay, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? If Raw is going to Netflix, then they'll probably go back to 3 hours again. Whenever Smackdown gets there, same thing. Or are they both going in January? Are they both going in January? Or did they sign a contract with Smackdown for the year? Because if they sign a contract with Smackdown for the year, we're not getting that until October. We're not getting Smackdown on Netflix until October. But if they're going in January as well, both brands is 3 hours, which will make sense for the women's mid-level titles. But at the same time, it's like, what brand would you want to be on? And ever since I started back watching, Chad has been on Raw. So for him to be like on SmackDown would be something to get adjusted to. Shinsuke has been on both since I've been watching 2.5 years ago. Drew's been on both. Seth has only been on Raw. American Alpha Academy with Chad and them has been on Raw. It's like certain people that have only been on Raw the past 2.5 years. Gunther, I think, has only been on Raw. And since I've been watching, Judgment Day, of course, all of them, the old members, because I think Liv was on SmackDown when she won the first championship, if I recall. Her and Raquel, if I recall. And yeah, and like the Bloodline's been on SmackDown. Jay going to Raw. Now I'm used to it, so he go to either brand. I'm used to it, even though he switched his colors up to blue and he's on the red brand, but still. KO and Sammy's kind of been on both. So, and Cody's been on both. It's only certain people that's been like if Becky was here, she's only been on Raw. Her and her husband. Imperium, Judgment Day, basically. Alpha Academy. Everybody else is, and then for SmackDown has been Naomi, Bloodline, when she was there and left and came back. Bloodline. Trying to think of who else has been on. And I want to say Legado del Fantasma. So I think when he was part of LWO, Santos was on SmackDown. And then they split up and he ended up still being on SmackDown. So yeah, I was confused because I was like, what the hell is going on? And my son got his stuff all over the place. I was like, okay, we doing this. So Cody coming out, Chad comes out with the rest of American Made. First of all, Ivy, I don't know if that's a skirt set. People that don't know what skirts are, they were big in the 90s. I had two. I had the one, they had the flap in the front that looked like a skirt, but in the back they was shorts. Or you had the jump that looked like a skirt, like especially some of the jean ones. They looked like a skirt, like how the tennis players be having. Not kind of like long like that, but they had like a skirt. It was like a jean. It was like that, and then they had shorts underneath. So it was two types of skirts. So I don't know, her outfit was a skirt set or a skirt set thing. But I'm not used to seeing her in clothes, because I see her either in gear or like workout stuff. Like even when she did the workout session with Jordan Grace, and I've been trying to get them to do a match with each other since I saw them two at the Rumble. Like when they had, I was like, if Jordan joins WWE, I want her to fight. And Ivy was one of them. Bianca was one of them. It was like powerhouses I wanted her to fight. And I was like, Ivy's short, little now, but that size, okay? She ain't nicknamed herself the Pitbull in a minute. She should have gave herself Eve if she's in the music like that, because you know, Eve the rapper used to say she was a Pitbull in a skirt. If you know, you know. But she didn't. So they came out he basically talking to Cody. I don't even know. I didn't even see Cody come out. That's what I meant. When I came out, Chad was just talking, and Chad was like, the difference between the two of us is, he was like, you leave your friends to the wayside, basically, and be like, the hell with them and do what's best for you. He was like, I'm not doing that. He basically, to me, Chad basically resaid what KO said and what Carmelo said. My bun is being crazy, and I might take it out because my hair's been up all day. See, my hair done came out and back. But so I was like, okay. So then Cody comes back and was like, me and you are very similar. First of all, when I saw the clip Chad came out, he was like, he's the greatest athlete to come out of Minnesota. People were saying that was a shot to Brock Lesnar. I was like, not even that. It's a shot to Brock Lesnar. It's a shot to Tiffany. Like, but he said the greatest. So I know she was a gymnast, and I think I heard at one point in time she was either going to go to the Olympics or try out for the team, and then she left to pursue WWE. So, okay, you might not be the greatest, okay? You might be one of the greats, but you might not be the greatest. I'm just putting that out there. My hair is acting up. So, Tina, get it together. That's the name. That's what I call my hair. So, so he comes out. That's what I was like. And then he said what he said. And then Cody was basically like, you and I are very similar in a lot of ways. And then he was talking about how he was Shorty G. And, versus him as Stardust, because you know it was a thing, ain't nobody know he was Stardust. But at the same time, I was like, who the hell is Shorty G? And I was like, when was this? I had to Google it, because I'm like, I've seen the highlights of the tag teams from, like, I want to say, when did the Usos change? About 2018 they changed the theme song, or Uso Penitentiary 2017, 2018. So I want to say between that time and right before the Thunderdome era in 2022, tag teams, I think, were bigger then, because you had so many of them. Like, you had Pretty Dango with Tyler Breeze and Fandango. You had Chad Gable and I want to say Rude was his tag team partner. And then you had, like, members of the Wyatt. I think you had the War Raiders or the Viking Raiders. Of course, you had the Street Profits. Brain is drawing a blank. New Day, I don't even know how I forgot them. And then you had, you just had, like, various tag teams. Because I distinctly remember that segment when all of them came out and they was like, it's always about y'all too. Because it was the New Day and them in the ring. And, matter of fact, I think Street Profits is still in NXT. And they was talking about all these people, and then they was like, hold on. New Day was like, Pretty Dango's cool. And Usos agreed. And Chad was out there, and that's when he had the long hair. So is that when he was Shorty G? It said 2019 to 2020. And everything he's been a part of has been, like, either an academy or American something. Like they said before, he was an Alpha Academy. He was an American, I don't know what the hell, I can't even remember. It wasn't American made, it was something else. And I was like, he been on 2 American teams? I know you representing, like, you carrying on a lineage for Kurt. Because everybody carries on someone's lineage, or they take something from someone in the past they're inspired by. But I'm like, how many daggone American teams? I was like, and y'all, now he even got the "You Suck" chant like Kurt used to get. I'm like, his is warranted though. Like, Kirk's was, I think, from a sign or I can't remember. I think he was from the sound from a promo. So I need to go back and look at that. American Alpha, that's what it was. American Alpha. I'm on YouTube Googling it, looking at it up because I'm like, what? So he's basically telling them, and then he was like, I might be a part of this, that, and the third. And they end up having a match. So I'm like, matchup. Excuse me. The matchup is not a bad matchup. Okay? It's the fact that I think it's caught me by surprise that the last two matchups that Cody's had has not been for title shots. I think that's the issue. But I know they're moving towards the holidays and stuff like that. So literally, like, after next week, they're going to do holiday shows. They might do one Raw, one Smackdown, and then we won't see him again until the new year. So, that's interesting. And aren't the Creed brothers, like, from up that way, too? Like, aren't they... They either gotta be from, like, Ohio, Minnesota, or Indiana, or something like that. I just know that people associate them with North Carolina because they graduated from Duke. But, like, if they're from Minnesota as well, then he has to say he's one of the greats, because they could have went to the Olympics, too. I think the one that personifies Brutus was like, they went through college, they were completely undefeated. I think almost all 4 years, almost, or close to it. They might have lost a couple. And then he was like, it was either go to the Olympics or come to WWE, and they chose the WWE. I ain't gonna hold you though. If it was me, and I know that I probably could try out again for WWE later, I probably really have to, like, go with my gut. And honestly, for me, I would probably do both. Like, I would probably go to the Olympics and be like, hey, can I try out when I come back, or something like that? Because, like, Olympics, you only got a short window. You see what I'm saying? Like, I ain't never seen no old person wrestling in the Olympics. Okay. You gotta get it now. Like, now, if you do it, would that count? Because the wrestlers they have for the Olympics for the U.S., they aren't like famous or professionals in that instinct, right? I don't know. Oh, that cigarette smoke smells so bad. That's how I know I'm in an old building, because the vents are, like, linked and I can smell stuff. Like, if my neighbor smokes cigarettes or something, I can smell it. That's the worst smell too. So then they have a match with them. They do the match thing with them tonight. Cole had mentioned something about him interviewing KO later on, and the people were setting up the stuff backstage, and I was like, I thought he was suspended, but okay. So then they were talking to Naomi. I think Naomi and them was talking to Bianca about the match. And they was talking about, we got to find out, now that Survivor Series is over, we got to find out what happened to my girl Jade. And I think Naomi had said something like, yeah, I'm going to get with you. I'm about to go do this match, whatever, focus on my match. And then she went out. And then that's when the whole thing with her and Piper came about, and Chelsea and Bianca. First of all, and Bianca was like, a matter of fact, I didn't even see you, Chelsea, when it happened. Like, you could have been the one to do it. And then she was like, whatever. So I think she attacked Chelsea, and then Piper attacked her. First of all, What happened to Bianca for her to be taped up? Okay. I'm trying to reevaluate my life because I was like, I watched Survivor Series live. And I don't know if it's because to me, the women's war games wasn't as exciting as the men's. Like the last 2 years, 2022, 2023, the women's war games ate. And I'm not saying that they weren't good, but you know, I attach now, I think, quality matches with storylines, depending on what the situation is. Like if it's a PLE, I expect the story. Because that means they have 4 weeks between a PLE and the next PLE. Because they do one every month, I guess, to keep the momentum going for WWE. They're doing about every month and a half. Y'all could have started something, the last PLE, with Saudi and Crown Jewel, which they kind of tried to do, but it wasn't put together right. So I was like, what are we doing? So the match had its moments, because I sat there and watched the highlights again this last weekend, and I was like, it was a solid match, but I was like, I just still can't get over the fact of how it was like thrown together. You know what I'm saying? Like the War Games match with the men, even though we knew it was gonna be new Bloodline versus Bloodline, it wasn't thrown together in a month. It took some months. You hear me? It took like Jay and them, like Roman to get back with Jay. It took the turmoil after they got back together. It took them going to Saudi. It took the Usos not trusting Sammy because he in the car with Solo. I still don't trust him, and I like Sammy. You know what I'm saying? It took them trying to find another person. It took Bronson. Bronson was the fit that we didn't know that we needed. But I give him a pass because, for one, I said he should join the Bloodline. He's Samoan. But then at the same time, I was like, he probably don't want to be boxed in with that, because they probably gonna be like, well, all the Samoans should join the Bloodline. You know what I'm saying? And if that was the case, they would have one with either Bloodline members or members of the members of the Bloodline, Samoan women that are Samoan, if they have one for the women, or that's married to a Samoan. So it'd be Naomi, Nia, and Dakota. Okay. But see, like that took some months. Adding Bronson was just the icing on the cake, because my mind was the old Bloodline need to add Bronson. I'm still surprised they lost, because I'm like, there's no way in hell y'all got Jacob and Bronson and lost at War Games. Like, that's the most baffling thing to me about that match. And then after like that, it took the whole thing with Seth. And then even now, after the War Games, it's carrying on like Seth and Sammy. You know what I'm saying? Like after the War Games, outside of Jade being injured, I don't know. Did they say she was really injured? Because if not, I just assumed she was on vacation with her family and stuff, spending time with her daughter, getting stuff together for her softball team, with her hubby, and just being present with her family, taking vacation days. But if she's really injured, I pray she gets together, like heals and stuff. But yeah, like now after Survivor came, we're getting the story, because we're like, who did Jade, and then Candace is still beating up people and stuff like that. So like that makes sense. But like before, he was like, but her ribs was taped up, and I was like, first, and then I was like, also, love Naomi's gear, okay, it was cute, like Bianca's look and Chelsea's look. And Chelsea just had on simple, cute workout gear. Like that's gear outfit you wear, you work out, Or you know how they say us millennials wear workout out clothes all day. And a lot of women say because it's comfortable and it's simple to put on. Like I got on yoga pants now, but I actually went to the gym. But yeah, so excuse me. So they in like, but my thing was this. Okay, I'm gonna get to that later. So then they had a triple threat match with Elektra, Lopez, Tiff, and Naomi. And my 4 people that I wanted to be in the final 4 was Candice. Because for me, the top people I wanted to get the U.S. title would have been Michin's 1, Chelsea's 2. Candice was 3rd, Naomi was 4th. Any of those 4 women winning, I'm not mad at. I really want Michin to win. But if Chelsea win, I'm not mad at that too. Because her title run would be hilarious. And then the one, she had one, but how many years ago was that? Like a year and a half ago with Sonya. And then she was tag champs with Piper. So, like, and Naomi hasn't won one. Her being the inaugural U.S. Women's title would make her a... I'm trying to think. Is she a Triple Crown champion already? Did she win any champions at FCW? If she did, she's a Triple Crown champion already. So she would be Grand Slam champion. Well, some people say she's a Grand Slam champion because when they changed the titles, Rhea and Charlotte, when they switched brands or something, or they switched brands back in the day, they changed the title, she became a Grand Slam champion. I'm not sure. I just know she's gonna be in the Hall of Fame. Okay. But ew. So they had that match. A lot of people don't know Elektra Lopez wrestles. That's how you know the NXT market was not big before she... Well, I ain't gonna say it wasn't big before she got drafted, because it was pretty solid. But you know, when I was watching then, what was it, before Solo got drafted, it was focused on a couple girls matches, but it wasn't about the women's division like it is now. 1. 2, that's when Ava, I was about to call her real name, first became, and before she became manager, she was a part of like the schism and stuff like that faction situation, and stuff like that. So it was like, people forget she could wrestle, because I've been saying the whole time she said she got drafted, I'm like, when's she gonna get in the match? Like, when is she gonna get a match? Like, outside of her fighting Zelina, I think they had a mixed tag 4-on-4 match or something like that, or her helping like Legado de Fantasma. I was like, what? I'm like, because she was pretty solid. Y'all moved her from NXT to Smackdown to basically be a valet, and I was like, what's the purpose in that? Okay, you know what I'm saying? So people saw the match, people were really amazed, just like when BFAB match. But I'm like, Elektra can wrestle, okay? We just don't. She just sit there and look cute in her outfits and don't interfere in matches and don't really say too much. And then Tiffany came out to try to give work. One point in time, Candice had came and messed up the match. Tiff ended up winning. So my son was like, Tiffany don't need to win because she missed Money in the Bank. And I was like, she could be both, because Damian was undisputed tag champion and senior Money in the Bank. I was like, she could be both. But if she don't win, she could still cash in. Now we got 2 mid-card titles. She can let whoever be the inaugural champion be it for 2 minutes and then go ahead and get the title. Okay? Second of all, I was like, I wonder if Candice interfering in that match, I know it, the whole thing with her and Naomi, but I'm like, did it irk Tiffany's, did it irk Tiffany, or was she appreciative of it? Because you know they don't really they don't really get along. The only common denominator with them two is Nia. And when Tiffany was about to go out to the War Games, Candace had interfered and went out first. I'm like, them two don't really, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, so what is happening? Like, how does she feel about that? So, later on down the line, this is after, but I'm bringing up anyway, Naomi talks about, I think Bianca ends up winning. So then Bianca fights Piper, and she's getting kicked in the ribs. She getting toe up. She speared. I think that's the second or third time I've seen her spear somebody in the last 2 years I've been watching. She done hit power bombs, all that stuff. And then she's injured bad. She's on the side. Piper's doing her thing. Chelsea comes out to try to distract her. She throws Chelsea in the ring. And then she KODs Piper on top of Chelsea and gets the match. I said, okay, come on. She won. And then they talk about her. Naomi was talking about Candace interference. She was like, I'm sorry. She was like, the little girl worked her nerves, basically. And then Saxon was like, I could tell you right now, it wasn't Piper. She was sitting basically like by I think the gorilla watching when that match happened, so it wasn't her, and I was beside her. So I think Naomi had said something, and then she was like, well, it could be Nia, Liv, Raquel, Tiffany, or Candace, or something like that. And Bianca was like, yeah, when I see it's on site. I said, it's definitely Naomi. I said, because in this past episode, every time they bring up, we got to find out who did it to Jade, or look up like who did it or whatever. I'm like, Naomi changes the subject. I said, I saw that today. She changed the subject twice. Okay? And I'm like, Nia and it might be a lot of things. They might be conniving. They might get on people's nerves. But the kind of heel that all of them 5 girls are, I'm trying to think, is it 5? Let's see. Yeah. That the 5 women are, they're not going to hide that they beat someone up. You see what I'm saying? Like when they beat up Rhea on NXT, you saw them walking off. They had the bat laughing. They show her and Raquel just happy. Okay? Candace comes and interrupts matches on TV now. And Nia, she's the queen and stuff like that. I know for a fact, she would want to gloat about beating someone up. Because she'll say it. She'll be like, well, like, last Friday, she was like, she was like, why would I destroy her until I can't wait to break her down in the ring. You know what I'm saying? So it's none of them. It's somebody on your side. And it's Naomi. It's not Bailey at all. Because Bailey's trying to mend stuff. And she's going kind of like face kind of anti-hero. She's not going to do nothing to piss off Bianca real bad. Okay? The difference is now when that happens, how would Bailey react? How would Bianca react? Okay? And also, because it's always a Judas. That's why they be like, the people that hurt you the most or surprise you the most are people that's closest to you. That's facts. Like, you don't have to worry about a random person or person you might see every once in a while that hates you. They not going to do too much. You know, they know that they hate you. You know that they hate you. It's not a secret. So if they was going to do something to you, it'd be out in the open. It wouldn't be like conniving and behind your back. The people that do stuff conniving and behind your back is always someone close to you or knows you well enough. It's happened since back in the Bible times, okay? So it's definitely Naomi because that's a sneak move. And like I said, Nia and them are not close enough to Jade for them to sneak and do that. The only people that's close enough to Jade is somebody is one of the big 3. So if it's not Bianca, if it's not Naomi, it's Bianca herself. Heel Bianca, like we got in NXT, was hilarious though. I wouldn't even be mad at that. Speaking of hilarity, I was watching, what was it the other day? The funniest moments of WWE this year. I was crying. So last year, the MVP was Jimmy. Okay? Runner up was Truth. And Truth was only back for a month. Because he came back Survivor Series last year. So he's been back a year. But the MVP was Jimmy. And then I want to say maybe some moments by like Aldis or Street Profits or something like that. Sammy was a big one too. This year it was definitely R-Truth and Carlito. Okay, Jimmy was gone most between April and Bad Blood, so that's 6 months. But it was Jimmy had a couple in there, but it was definitely Carlito and R-Truth. And low key, depending on how you see stuff, Kevin Owens should have been in there on that list. Solo, they should have had a couple of solo ones on there. Because that promo, he be like, and I'll be like, what is wrong with him? Okay? He is funny. Depending on the promo. Okay? I'm cold. And then, but R-Truth and Carlito definitely took it for 2024. Also, after that, Motor City Machine Guns has said something about the Street Profits being injured. I'm trying to figure out why they injured and who injured them. When did they get injured? Okay. So, Johnny had said something about being him and DIY could do a match or something like that. And then Johnny comes out and they have the match. So Johnny starts in the ring. Ciampa tags himself. I'm like, then he talking about something. You watch this, I got this. And I'm like, what the hell is happening next? What is going on? Okay. So they fighting or whatever. And then he gonna tell him, matter of fact, I can fight both of them by myself. Like, basically, watch out. So then I think Johnny gets back in the ring or something like that. Ciampa slaps him. Johnny pushes him. And I'm like, not you slapping him. So that's when he told him he could do it by himself. So I think Motor City Machine Guns and both attacking Ciampa. And I was like, that's low-key what you get because you doing the most. Okay. So he comes out. Johnny goes back in the ring. Then, I don't know, Johnny low blows one of the members of MG. And he tags Ciampa. And then Ciampa ends up going in the ring and pinning, and they become the new tag champs. And I said last week, I said it's only two ways. It's only a couple ways this can go. I was like, them splitting up. But then I was like, what would the story be? So I don't see that. I was like, or them going heel. And they turned heel. And then after that, Candace was like, I'm so proud of y'all. Da-da-da-da-da-da. And then he was like, Daddy's not a loser. So I'm like, now you and your wife are both heels. Okay. And then Shinsuke comes out. First he does his segment, which is one of my favorite things. When he does his little segment in Japanese. Then he comes out. Okay. So then while he's about to start to say something, LA Knight comes out. LA Knight basically like, I need to get my match back. You got the better of me that time. I don't know what happened. So then Andrade comes out. And LA Knight like, look, you can get the title match after I get my rematch. Like, chill out. So then in the middle of nowhere, somebody attacks Andrade, Keith Andrade. I'm like, what the hell is happening? It's Tama Tonga. So then I think Jacob ends up beating up or hitting LA Knight. So then both of them in the ring. Solo comes in the ring. They look at Shinsuke. Shinsuke has the black stuff coming out of his mouth. I said, now why he look like them off of Little Giants? So I'm aging myself. The Little Giants, y'all remember Little Giants when he was like, what do we use? He said, I use these for acid indigestion. What are we using for these for? And it was like intimidation. And then when they on the line of scrimmage in the game, they got the Pepsi Day, it wasn't Pepsi Day, it was Alka-Seltzer coming out their mouth or whatever. That's exactly what Shinsuke looked like. That's where my mind went. And then after he did all that, he got out the ring. So I was like, I don't know who was more intimidated, Shinsuke or the Bloodline, or Shinsuke was like, this ain't my fight. Okay. So then Gunther ends up leaving Nick's office. No, before that, Nick's not coming. Before that, Cole leaves. And Corey like, where you going? He like, I'm about to go interview this man in his car. I'm like, why are you going to this man's car? First of all. Second of all, Kevin Owens and these car promos be having me crying. Because I'm like, you banned from... You are suspended. You're not supposed to be there, but yeah, you there in your car. Like, what? What is happening? So... Cole go into his car and he about to do this interview, and what's the name is like, what he said something like come in. He was like, no. I said, Cole, if you don't get your behind in that car, I'm like, you is from, he always say all the time, like, he a Texas man, you is from Texas, that Minnesota 20-degree weather and the wind chill probably make it -10. That is not, you are not about that life, okay? Get in that car, okay? So then he asked KO questions and stuff like that. KO was like, I'm surprised you basically being Cody's #1 fanboy, like this, that, and Cole's like, I'm not. He's like, you are. So Cole basically told him, like, you need to look in the mirror and see what's going on. And this man gonna look at his rear view. Every time I'm so, what am I supposed to be looking at? I'm like, what is wrong with him? I'm over here crying, laughing. So then he was like, no, matter of fact, he said something else. He was like, get out my car. Then he said, Cole. Cole turned around, was like, what, you gonna apologize? And he rolled the window up on him. I'm like, just from his dry humor alone, they need to make a part 2 list, okay? Because KO, that dry humor stuff is hilarious. Like when he told the Bloodline they couldn't come in the door of Cody's locker room because he lost. The one he said he dressed up for the occasion and had that tuxedo shirt on. Like, I mean, like, what is wrong? Like, he is hilarious as I don't know what. He is funny as hell. And so he goes back. So Corey's like commentating for a little bit by himself, which he did a good job. But I guess it's easier to fall back into it when you go from the main person commentator, like adding colorful commentary, like how Pat does when Cole's beside him, to being the main person. Because when he was the main person when Wade was there, and then Cole came back over here and he ended up being like colorful commentator again. But because he was the main person for a little bit, for a good while. When did what's the name go back in August? So he was the main person from what? Did he immediately go to Smackdown with Wade and after the Rumble? Because if that's the case, if he was like that, he was doing that for 7 months. So it's easier to fall back into it. So then they show Andrade, and Gunther came out and he was like, you worried about the wrong thing, basically. Like, you need to be worried about me and what I got going on here, the #1 SmackDown draft pick, and you trying to get people on Raw. And he was like, because Monday Night Mellow sound good. it should be Mellow Night Raw or something like that. I don't know. No, that sounds too sexual. But he was like, Nick was like, you sitting there trying to say that like it's a threat. He was like, you being Adam's problem sounds like it should come with cakes in a balloon. I start crying because I was like, Nick stayed coming for people neck. Like him and Adam take different approaches to managing. Like out of the three, I would say Ava's the level-headed one. I think it's because she's a woman and under pressure and stuff like that. Because we are multitaskers, we tend to be level-headed when it comes to stuff like that. I'm like, between Nick and Adam, which I still want the match, Nick versus Adam. Okay. Adam is a stressed out one. Because he'll say something, they'll ignore him. He be all stressed out. But these are the people he picked in the draft. Nick, you ain't going to stress him out too much. Because you can come at him sideways if you want to. One, you either going to be fine, you're going to be suspended, or he going to come at you back. He like, I ain't got time. Okay? I'll be over there crying. Every time he clap back at somebody, I'll be cracking up. So, he was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You got to do something to get some stuff. And then he turned around and Nick had closed the door on him. I was like, that boy ain't going to learn, boy. I also forgot that the 7th is tomorrow. And I've been screaming like, why NXT ain't got no PLEs on Saturdays? Why we always got them on Sunday? Especially if it's not the same time. But now we with UFC, so who knows? But especially if it's not the same time as the main roster PLE. Because I'm like, we want to watch these PLEs, but they late. And I'm like, people got to get ready for work in the morning. Okay? Like, don't nobody want to be watching no PLE till 11 o'clock. And I was like, ain't nobody really wanted to watch Raw till 11 o'clock. I was like, low-key, that was late as hell. But I had to be to work at 8 a.m. I had to get up at 6:30 because the job is like 10 minutes from me. So I would leave my house at 7:30, drop my son off at before care, and then go straight to work. Raw came on at 8 to 11. This was 2 years ago. Matter of fact, exactly 2 years ago. When I worked the HR for this business school. I would cut it off at the 9:30 and go straight to bed. Because of the first couple weeks, I was like, I could do this. Shower that night and stuff. Be up till 11. I don't think I was making videos then. I think I was just watching. But be exhausted the next day. And I'm like, how do people do this? Because I was like, I'm not someone that, not unless I'm like deadbeat tired, which thankfully I'm basically on a sleep cycle now. But at the time, if I'm not deadbeat tired, it takes me a while to go to sleep. And then if I get up in the middle of the night to go use the restroom or get water, I immediately have to go back to sleep. Like, I can't keep the light on. I have to look in the dark. I can't check my phone because even the light from the phone will wake my brain up. I have to immediately go back to sleep. Or I'm going to be up for like 2 hours. So if that happens, I'm really not getting no sleep because then it takes me a while. By the time I get comfortable to go back to bed, my alarm about to go off. So that used to wear me out. So I used to go, and then the PLEs, I'd be like, I got to watch the rest tomorrow. Because I was like, this is crazy, especially NXT one. I think like, was that this year? Luckily, I wasn't working there this year, Vengeance Day. Because I was about to say, that one would have kicked my behind. But it was still late because I think after I watched it and everything, I think it was midnight. But, yeah, so I'm so glad that they's having it on Saturday. The only trip part about now they having it on Saturday is the fact that I got to go to work this Saturday. And I'm like, ain't this about it? So the day they have it, on the day that I want them to have it, I'm not even going to be home. I'm going to still have to watch it on Sunday after I have a technical rehearsal for the Christmas church play that they put me in charge of production every time they have a play. I don't even ask. They don't even ask if I'm gonna be in town. They just be like, hey, you the best, can we do it? I'm looking at the credits and my name, I'm like, well, whatever. Okay. So then, yeah, so I think that then they had the whole thing. So then, yeah, that's what, about speaking of the bloodline, when they came out, Solo was like, he upset, this, that, and third, and he needs money now to acknowledge him. And he was like, we lost 2 people in the bloodline. And I was like, I knew about Bronson, but I was like, Tonga Loa got injured too? Because in my mind, okay, I said, I know Jimmy broke a toe. I was like, Bronson is out because they said he injured. Because Triple H at the press conference was like, he gonna be out for some weeks. Okay, I know them two for sure. And then for the girls, it was somebody else I had mentioned. It was somebody else. Oh, because I said Jacob might be out because he done hit that same leg. He done hit like his second week of SmackDown, his same knee. But I forgot. I was like, Jacob, like he gonna thug it out and be like Seth and just rock with it until he ain't got no more ligament or bone on his leg and keep on going. So he when I saw him in the ring, I was surprised. Also, who keeps retouching up his hair with the color? That thing, that red is bright as hell. Okay, I'm not saying I don't like it, but I'm just saying it's bright. And whoever's retouching it up is doing a good job because that Firehouse red fades after like 3-4 washes. But with locks, you ain't supposed to wash a lot. You're really supposed to wash at least every 6 weeks. If your hair grows fast or is really, really thick. If it's thinner hair, you have to wait longer. 7-8 weeks is a sweet spot for my son. So, and he looked like he got a good grade of hair. Because I'm like, I know from experience, my sister had that Firehouse red. And it went from red to orange between the sun and the washes. And I was like, and she was like, I used to have red. I said, you should have mixed it with some burgundy. So that way when it lightens up, it won't lighten up to orange. It would have lightened up to like a good, decent red. But I'm like, sheesh. Because when I saw him attacking the bloodline, I was like, that red is real bright. Yeah, so he was talking about how he missed injured 2 people. Now I was like, I had to reevaluate my life because I was like, dang, Tonga. I was like, when they did that bloodline, when they did the match, he was in the corner for a little bit, and then he came out to do his thing. And then towards the end, when Solo was still standing by himself, everybody was down. Everybody was down with Solo. And I was like, Jacob's knee was hurt. Bronson had fell off that table. I forgot what Tonga is. I think they got Haluva Kanjo super kicked or something, hit the railing in the middle. But I was like, I don't know what the injury he got. But he's like, I'm pissed because 2 members of my bloodline is gone. So I'm like, my brain said, oh, he said 2 members. So is Bronson coming to SmackDown? Okay. I'm like, whether Bronson continues with the bloodline or he decides to keep doing his solo thing, or he does both. Like he does a solo thing on Raw, and then if Solo needs him, he comes to SmackDown and does a bloodline thing. I ain't mad at that either. Okay, because that's basically what the old bloodline is doing. Like when they said the press conference, Jimmy and Jay was like, if they need us, we coming. We gonna do tag team. We do whatever. It's like Sammy said with Jay. He was like, but as far as like us, we're all doing our own thing. So that would make the most sense. But he was like, I'm still y'all tribal chief. He's like, acknowledge me. I was like, are you though? Because you lost. And then he was like, and that's not the first time he lost. So then he gonna say, I still got this. The Ula. Before he said that, I said, somebody take that Ula follow from him, please, because he keep losing all these matches, and he got this big head, like, because he still got it that he's tribal chief. And then he said, I still got this. And I was like, I am over it, okay? Not over it like the storyline, but I'm like the delusion for me. I was like, that's the only thing that makes you the current tribal chief is that what you got around your neck, because you and your boys could not cut it, okay? Then the Cody and Chad match happened. I missed most of that because I was finishing up retwisting my son's hair, and then I went to go heat him up some food and all that other stuff. So, I just heard the match was pretty solid. I got to go on YouTube and watch it. And because I was confused, because I was like, did Cody injure the knee that KO was talking about, or did he injure the ankle? Because, you know, he does the ankle lock, Chad. So then when he did it again, I said, oh, it's the ankle. So then Cody picked him up and did the crossroads and won the match. So then after that, KO had came out and attacked Cody's knee and then tried to start attacking him and stuff like that. Like, everybody had to come out. Okay, the legend, Shane Helms and Nick came out, and some other people and future WWE champions and other security and all that had to come out. And I'm like, this match next Saturday is going to be interesting. And my son was like, I think Cody going to keep the title for a long time. He was like, I don't think he going to keep it longer than Roman, but I think he going to keep it. And I said, I honestly don't think he going to keep it that long, much longer. I feel like and he also said he feel like somebody's going to interfere. He said he feel like Randy's going to come back and interfere in the match to help Cody win. I said, that could be plausible. But if KO wins this match, he could fight two people for the title. He could fight Cody for the title back, and then he could fight Randy for the title. Also, they really could do that either whether he got the championship or not. Because if Randy come back, he could fight Cody for the championship, and then he could just fight Randy. Did they already fight, or did he did that move and they didn't get to fight? I can't even remember, because stuff be happening so fast. It be a lot, but at the same time, it don't be a lot, if that makes sense. Like, sometimes it just be bits and pieces of stuff and it keep us guessing, but then at the same time, a lot happens when you reevaluate like the year, and you be like, dang, that did happen. Like, when they was showing like the funniest moments, I was like, oh, that sure did happen. Yeah, so Chelsea was on that list too as the funniest. But that was it. That was the end. So I'm just waiting to see what's going to happen with DIY as a heel. Motor City Machine Guns and Street Profits. What's up with them? And then the Jade thing with the Naomi turn. If Naomi turned heel, this would be interesting. Because I think she said she wanted to. She was ready to do that. And if we get heel Bianca, that's going to be funny. My only other guess is Charlotte, like I said. Only because she had that ice or that diamond thawing out, and then it burst or something like that. And I was like, it's been 10 months now. I heard Oscar should be clear, okay? Because I'm like, we done got Dakota back. Daggone. I think her, Oscar, and Shotzi. But some people said Shotzi was pregnant. I don't know if that's a rumor or not. Because, you know, the internet just be saying anything. I don't follow her on... I think I follow her on Instagram. But I don't be on Instagram like that no more. But I don't follow her on Twitter or nothing like that. So I don't know. I'm just waiting for Charlotte's return. Because when she left, She went from being like heel to a face with Bianca and them. And then if it's Bianca that attacked Jade and Charlotte was the heel, I mean, is a face, how would that go about when she come back? Second of all, if it was Bianca that attacked Jade, you can't say nothing about Bailey and Damage Control no more. If you go heel, you can't say nothing. I don't care if they gave your life, made your life a living hell for the past 15 years. You basically did the same thing to someone. You did it to someone close to you. At least they did it to someone they ain't like. Okay? Like, that'd be crazy. So, I'm just waiting to see what's going to happen. I need to go to bed. Oh, it's 11:55. I want to eat, but I can't eat that late. I need to go to bed because my son has a basketball game at 10 a.m. and then after work, 10-hour shift. So, a couple hours later after that. So, I will see you guys later. I'm gonna watch Deadline, but I'm gonna watch it on Sunday. So if y'all don't get a video from me until Sunday or Monday, it's because I was working. Because I don't get off of work on Saturday till 1 a.m. So or 1 a.m. Sunday morning. So yeah, be safe, stay warm, okay? Because it's cold basically everywhere. Except for probably Florida, but Florida ain't really a real place. And I used to live there. I remember on the map when they showed like the U.S. map and all the places were like blue or like yellow. Maybe 1 or 2 spots was orange. Florida was the only place still like in red and orange. We like, it's December, okay? And my mom's first cousin came from live in the Bay, and she was like, it's cold. She was like, it's warm here. She was like, it's warm and I'm living in California. I said, okay. But yeah, enjoy your night, be safe, and don't go too crazy with the Christmas shopping. Don't let it stress you out, okay? And if you feel like you need to go crazy with the Christmas shopping and don't feel like spending all your money at once, they got Klarna, Affirm, Quad Pay, Afterpay, PayPal got a pay thing. QVC got 6 payments. And when I say they got 6 payments for everything, it was something on there. My mom, my sister watched that channel. For $12, they had 6 payments of $2. I was like, oh, they trying to get y'all money for real. And Amazon got pay things set up. I think WWE uses one of those too. Ticketmaster got it. Like, that's if you want to go buck with it and get everything. The only downside is, of course, they're going to upcharge you a percentage, so it might be like 3 to 5% more than what the regular price was. And 2, even though you can afford to pay it and make the payments, I mean, like, that's too much to be stressed. I can't be stressed about. I like paying my stuff if I have the option all at once, so I ain't gotta be like, oh, I gotta pay and be stressed out because I can't do it. Now, if I need to and want to, I will, but other than that, I'm paying it full. Anyways,